All Knight's chin has let him down a few times, and he's in with one of the best punchers we have in the British Isles in Sinclair. But can he cause the upset here? A lot of people looking at this fight thought explosive fight, short one, and Sinclair will probably win it by knockout.
Well, there'll be a fair bit of nerves with Sinclair. He'll want to get just into this fight, just get moving and relax before he lets the big punches go.
Well, he was saying in the build-up he wants to just improve his boxing. He's got a cut already. Opening seconds, cut for Sinclair by the left eye. Goodness me, must have been a slashing little shot that did it from Knights. And there's the first left hook from Sinclair. Seemed to move Knights a little, didn't it?
Yes, it did. That was a decent shot. And that'll worry Sinclair a little bit. He'll feel the blood.
It's not a serious cut, though. It's around the side of the eye. Sinclair, who hopes to get a shot at WBO champion Antonio Margarito. He's already had one world title attempt and got flattened in two by Daniel Santos, although he had Santos down in the first round. Proof of his power.
Sinclair, he won't know that the cut's not too bad. He'll just feel a little bit of blood. So there'll be a little few worries with him, and he'll want to be looking to get the big shots on.
We think a clash of heads has caused the cut. Sinclair goes for the right hand. He's looking for those body shots quite a lot, and it was the body shot that won him the fight in his last defense against Derek Roach. He won this title against Harry Darmy in 5 rounds, the greatest night of his career, he says. Pity that didn't get very much exposure. Don't think that fight was on television at all, anywhere.
Just hadn't quite found out the rhythm. Sinclair missing with a few punches.
Difficult this for Knights, who comes from Red Hill in Surrey, 31 years of age. Coming at late notice.
Sinclair getting good body punches going.
Just having a little look at Knights first of all. Sinclair, but he's been floored 3 times in his career by Dennis Berry, by Darmy, and by Adrian Chase. Sinclair, I know his cornermen are a little bit worried about his own resistance. That right hand certainly had an effect on the Richter scale there on Knights, and again, and he wants to hold on. He's feeling the power of Sinclair's hitting, but he's through the first round anyway. Without too many alarms, and there's the cut, which Denny Mancini quickly works on. Nearer the camera, the Panamanian Bernardo Chaker, part of John Breen's team. A lot of experience there, Glenn.
Yes, an awful lot of experience, and the cut wasn't too bad, but that's where it happened, that little clash of heads there very early on in the round. And he'll have felt that, will have worried him a little bit, but the corner now working on it will have told him it's not too bad. Right hand going in there as well, and then the clash of heads.
Yes, Neil Sinclair has won 11 fights inside 2 rounds, 7 in the first, 4 in the second. In fact, half of his fights exactly have been won inside 3 rounds. He's in the white trunks, the champion. Second defense tonight. A few alarms along the way. It did look as if his career was going off the rails. He was out of the ring for a time early on in his career with a sort of mystery illness. There was talk of depression, that sort of thing. But he's come back really well.
Yes, 2 nice, crisp shots going in there. The left hook, the right hand for Sinclair.
Sinclair, who works hard on making himself a more rounded pro. Still quite upright. Commonwealth Games gold medal, and he's hurt him with the left hook there, Sinclair. That really wobbled Knights. who for a moment was almost spinning like a top after it landed, and a left hook close in has him down. Barrage of shots, and the towel has come in from Knight's corner. Terry O'Connor may stop the fight here. They want it stopped the corner. He's got to 8. Has he seen the towel? I don't think he has. They threw the towel and the fight goes on. And now it is stopped. Now it is stopped. I'd be surprised Terry O'Connor let that go on, because the referee looked at the towel in the corner and said, let the fight continue. It went on a few more seconds, but Sinclair retains his British welterweight title in round 2, and his power, as many people have predicted, was all too much for Paul Knight.
Well, it was just as that cut's getting an awful lot worse and bleeding quite heavily. He finds the punches to finish the job.
Yeah, that cut has deteriorated, but it was to the side of the eye. The blood is not running into the eye, not obscuring the vision, and to that degree, not very dangerous. In fact, a routine kind of cut, really. But it's not going to matter. It's academic. He's still the British welterweight champion. First fight in Belfast for 4 years. He's going the right way too, isn't he?
Yes, he's doing everything right. And it was good shot that started this. Just putting Knight under a bit of pressure, keeping the shots going in. A little clubbing uppercut took a fair bit out of Knight.
And a very good left hook in close as well. I think that's the one that does it. This is where he catches him clean, in here.
Yes, there's a short little right and then a decent solid left hook, but just far too much power. There's the right hands that are giving him trouble.
And you can see the towel, coming in that far corner. Well, not from that angle, we can't for the moment, but it did. And that's where he stops the fight. The towel had already been in while the count was being administered.
Yes, I think Terry O'Connor used his judgment. I think he knew it was there, let it go on for a second, but wasn't going to take any chances. Realised it was time to get Knight out of there.
Just worth pointing out that the referee does not have to stop the fight because the towel has been thrown in, but in 99 times out of 100, he will.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute and 17 seconds of round number 2, referee Terry O'Connor has stopped the contest. In his opinion, Knight was in no position to continue. Your winner, he's still the welterweight champion of Great Britain and has put another notch on the Lonsdale belt, Sinclair. And a round of applause, please, for the challenger, Paul Knight.
About to box the 200th professional round of his career, but guess what? In everything he's ever done as a professional, including 6 big world championship fights, he's never won in the first round. McCullough in the black trunks against Nikolai Eremeev, who comes from Zatoust in the Ural Mountains of Russia. Reputation for being quite strong, though Alex Arthur up at super featherweight, probably a lot stronger, stopped him in 5 rounds, as did the world-class Philip Ndu. That one lasted 6. But other than that, he's looked pretty dependable and resilient, and he's never been stopped as a featherweight, and that's the division he's operating in tonight. McCullough looking these days to just plant his feet a little more for a bit of extra power. His work rate right through his career has been nothing less than phenomenal.
Yes, always in tremendous condition and looking to get into range straight away in this fight, cutting the distance off.
It's only his 3rd fight in 3 years, but the 2nd in the last couple of months. Beat Johannes Maisa, you might remember, stopping him in 4 at Bethnal Green in September. Another chance to shake off more of the ring rust here as he gets home with a body shot. Took a bit of time to wind himself up, didn't he, a couple of months ago?
Yes, he's starting a little bit quicker, landed a couple of decent shots already. Eremeev's chin a little bit high, still that amateurish type style that he has.
Little right hand on the counter from Eremeev, and an uppercut was a classy looking shot. Right uppercut on the inside from McCullough, who warms to the task and thumps home a right over the top as well for good measure. McCullough only ever beaten in World Championship fights by Daniel Zaragoza, Nassim Hamed and Eric Morales. He's never been stopped and he's never been floored.
Eremeev trying to punch back, but he's finding it difficult already with this pressure of McCullough.
McCullough's boxing brain will be just computing what he has in front of him in Eremeev. He doesn't know a whole lot about him other than the bare statistics of his record. The Russian is on his fourth visit to Britain, having drawn with Roy Rutherford. Lost over 12-round distance to Gavin Rees, the Welsh prospect. Retired after 5 against Alex Arthur.
But he's getting in with good shots, McCullough. The jab working well, the right hand, the hooks.
Steady work as usual from McCullough. Well, just the usual kind of start from Wayne McCullough. How many punches did he throw in the first round? Little matter of 117.
It's not that good a success rate. I think he was probably a little anxious. 31 punches landed, but as always, very, very busy. There's the uppercut, probably the best shot of the opening round. That lovely uppercut right through the middle of Eremeev's defense.
Second round, McCullough, black trunks, the former WBC bantamweight champion. Last time he fought in Belfast was at the King's Hall when he stopped Johnny Breedel in defense of that title in 8 rounds, December the 2nd, 1995.
Johnny Breedel, 7 years later, the WBA super bantam or the bantamweight champion. So it shows the quality of that win.
Always been quite easy to hit McCullough, but against that he's got this fantastic chin. He's always kind of worked on the basis is you hit me with 500 shots, I'll catch you with 600.
Yes, he's always pulling that up, very busy as he is here. Trapping Eremeev on the ropes.
Always throws them in clusters, never stops the leather coming. Very much a tune-up opponent, you'd think, Eremeev. He doesn't look that good, does he, frankly?
No, he doesn't. He's a little bit unorthodox, a bit, you know, stands up a bit high, but he's game and he's strong and he's trying to take it to McCullough a bit, but McCullough's firepower is just too good.
McCullough, by the way, still world rated at super bantamweight, and it's a possibility that he could fight the new WBC champion Oscar Larios, who stopped Willie Horine in a round last night, the title changing hands.
A decent right hand from Eremeev, but McCullough is getting so many good shots on.
Good little body shot, picking the punches, then the jab, bit by bit, looking to pick apart this Russian. And when he gets his man going, he just never stops firing.
Well, he is really turning on the class here, looking at the barrage of punches, the variety that we're seeing from the pocket rocket.
Uppercuts, hooks, crosses. And Eremeev not quite sure where it's all coming from. Keeps his gloves low and his chin high. The Russian might pay for that.
Well, it's got to be getting hard for Eremeev already, the amount of shots he's taking.
Nice right over the top twice, then downstairs to the body. That is relentless, McCullough. Relentless. So far, so good. Looks okay, doesn't he?
He looks very good. Really accurate, good shots going in, and he's just keeping the punches going. Yep, still again, excellent amount of punches, 135, so he's keeping the work rate very high indeed.
252 so far, thrown by McCullough, according to the computer. Here comes round 3. How much more of this assault will Eremeev be able to take? Marcus McDonald wants a timeout here. I think there's too much grease around the face of Eremeev. Decent payday, I should think, for him, coming in as a McCullough opponent. And he'll see it as a chance to make a name for himself. Eremeev, who we're told is a student of mining engineering. It might be the salt mines if he loses.
Well, he's got to try and pick his work rate up, hasn't he, Eremeev? He's boxing on the defensive and he's trying to come out with counters, but you know, he needs more than that if he's going to have any chance of stealing a round.
Interesting to watch this and think what a fight between Wayne McCullough and Scott Harrison might be like. Harrison's work rate is prodigious itself. It would be some fight if they could agree the terms. That is quite a big if, I'd say. Because McCullough might have other fish to fry if he doesn't like the deal. Working him over here. Eremeev took 4, 5, 6 unanswered headshots and another one there. Active bravado there. He opens up his arms and almost invites McCullough in again. McCullough says okay and hits him with a right cross this time.
Yes, he's got nothing to keep these shots from coming in. I think it's a matter of time the way McCullough is just rattling off these combinations.
He's really mixing it up, and these are accurate shots into the ribcage, through to the head. Marcus McDonald takes a close look just as well. Eremeev threw one back there, but he looks disorganized, and McCullough hunts him across the ring.
Well, he just can't miss, can he? He's catching him with shot after shot. Good punches.
Keep the punches up. Little warning there from McCullough. Let a couple stray low. Listen to the Belfast crowd. They didn't like that.
Well, he hit him everywhere else, didn't he?
The rounds will be doing McCullough good. Remember, he had this long absence from the ring because of the scare over a cyst that showed up on his brain in a medical examination. Eventually cleared to box.
Well, the round's doing McCullough good, but not Eremeev. They're not doing him any good at all.
This is a systematic beating, and he can't be far away from a stoppage here, McCullough. We're in the 3rd round. Unrelenting assault. Can't be much more of it unless Eremeev can find some punches to throw back at him. He's on the run, the Russian. It's all too much for him. He's in at world class, and it's too deep. No knockdown. No knockdown. Just a slip, and he's glad to hear the bell. He surely can't take another round like that, Eremeev. He's way, way out of his league here with McCullough. It really is a case of welcome to the big league for him, isn't it? This.
Yes, it is, and I give that a 10-8 round. I think it was just a systematic beating that McCullough handed Eremeev. 150 shots, 44 landed, so his success rate is getting better. He's getting more accurate, throwing more shots as every round goes along.
It's funny, isn't it, because fighters at 32 in these lower weights, they're usually on the decline when they get to 30, maybe before that.
Well, he's always looked after himself. You know, he's trained well. He's always had good people around him, and he's a sensible guy. So there's plenty of longevity with the likes of Wayne McCullough.
He's getting the payoff for having lived the life all these years, isn't he?
Very much so.
Eremeev has a look on his face as if to say, what, another 3 minutes of this? It's blowing up a real gale outside, and McCullough is producing a storm of his own in this Maysfield arena. And Eremeev's defence is just not good enough. Not at this kind of level. This is a fellow who's been in with Eric Morales and gave him a heck of a fight. Lasted the full distance with Nassim Mohammed, who was about at his peak at the time. Oh, wicked left hook to the body, then the right uppercut.
Well, for me, Eremeev's gone beyond the call of duty. He's just out of his depth, and it's just a matter of time, and any time soon, I'd say.
Marcus McDonald is looking on very, very closely. He got him with a little right of his own, Eremeev, just a little reminder to McCullough. But punches just seem to bounce off Wayne McCullough. I couldn't believe how he got through the fight with Morales that night. It was one of the most valiant efforts I've ever seen, and he did plenty to trouble the Mexican himself. It was an amazing fight, wasn't it, that?
It really was. Tremendous performance from McCullough. We've seen a few from this battling little Irishman.
Some boxing nicknames are a joke. Pocket Rocket suits this fella.
Well, he's still trying to get shots off Eremeev, but he's got nothing really. A nice little right hand, but McCullough straight back in.
And watching this can only whet the appetite for a showdown with Scotland's Scott Harrison. It would have to be memorable, you'd think.
I think the matchup would be a tremendous fight.
Brave stuff this, though, by Eremeev. He's taken a lot, and he still wants to have an argument. He throws in a right over the top.
Well, he's got the pride. He has to have an argument or just fall down, really. There's too many shots coming in. And for me, they could call a halt any time. There's no real fight in him. McCullough so dominant.
He still can't persuade the referee to step in. In fact, Eremeev's done a little more in the last minute. Oh, jolting right uppercut from McCullough, who's throwing every punch in the book here.
Well, I'm not sure what's going to take now.
They're going to throw the towel in, I think, for Eremeev. They're going to throw the towel in. McCullough wants the fight stopped. He's seen it, and then the referee sees it. It's all over in the fourth round. Home is the hero, and how? Well, what you just saw there was what Wayne McCullough has always been about. Never stops throwing punches. He's very, very exciting. And do we want to see him against Scott Harrison? His little girl does, and so do we.
Oh, yes, we do. What a fight that would be. Tremendous performance from McCullough. Cheryl very happy. McCullough just kept throwing punches, showed his class, and as long as the fight was going to go on, he was going to let them combinations go. For me, it got a little bit too long. I thought Marcus McDonald could have jumped in quicker, and it was down to the corner to get on the apron.
That's 2 4-round victories for Wayne McCullough in his British comeback, and the result was never, ever in doubt there. I don't think it was really in doubt even before we started tonight. I think we have to add the rider, having praised McCullough to the skies for his effort. He did it so well that Eremeev is strictly limited and nowhere near world class. There are bigger tests than that, aren't there?
Yes, there is bigger tests, but that's exactly what McCullough made him look like, just so many leagues below. And, you know, some good early attacks here where the combinations just keep coming in from McCullough. Just constantly looking for the opening, looking for the gap, looking to try and get a punch on. And it really is good pressure from McCullough.
I think you're right, Glenn. I think the referee could have stepped in earlier. He could have stepped in the round before and nobody would have complained. But McCullough wasn't complaining because he's shaken off more of the ring rust here. What happens while this attack's going on is the towel is thrown in by Philip Fondue in the corner, and funnily enough, McCullough was the first to see that even before the referee and called off his assault. That's enough, he said. All over, round 4. I think they might have him back.
I think they've really enjoyed it. Been a very good homecoming for McCullough.
Ladies and gentlemen, After 2 minutes and 55 seconds of round number 4, referee Marcus McDonald has accepted the retirement of Nikolai Eremeev by his cornerman. The homecoming is now complete. The winner here from Belfast in Northern Ireland, the Pocket Rocket, Wayne McCullough. And ladies and gentlemen, please, a warm Belfast welcome. And thank you to our visitor, Nikolai Eremeev.
Proof that they do know their boxing here. Eremeev getting a big hand for his valor. The homecoming party's about to start for McCullough and family. Lovely. Earlier, we had a happy homecoming for Neil Sinclair, the British welterweight champion too. And still to come, the return of the former British light welterweight champion, Mark Winters, another local hero. He's now a lightweight up against John Marshall. That one's still to come. But this is McCullough's show, with Winona, of course. Barry, did that just confirm everything you saw last time out from Wayne McCullough?
Yeah, well, what people don't realise is these journeymen can get away with it against fellas who don't have pace. McCullough has pace, and what he lacks in power, he makes up for pace. I mean, Eremeev was absolutely exhausted. He was totally exhausted after 3 rounds because McCullough just didn't leave him alone. He's a whirlwind, this guy. And it's only when you sit ringside you realise the amount of punches that come at you, the amount of leather was fun. That was a great performance. Remember, you know, this guy went 6 rounds with Alex Arthur and 10 rounds with Gavin Rees, and he just wiped the floor with him, McCullough. Fantastic performance, very impressive indeed.
He's that fit, he's hardly out of breath, but Ed Robinson will try and pin him down, even if Eremeev couldn't. Well, Frank Warren's having a go first, but Ed, get in there. Let's see where the plans are being made. Come on.
Well, Wayne, 7 long years away. How does it feel to be back and putting on a show like that in Belfast?
Well, it's my 3rd fight in Belfast in my 10 years. I've got 3 knockouts. The fans are just unbelievable. They get behind you 100%, and you can hear them. Come on, come on!
You're 32 years of age. You're supposed to be slowing down, and yet your work rate was still phenomenal.
I'm slowed down a little bit, but I'm still throwing more than the average fighter. You know, over 100 punches a round. But I call that slow, so I get stronger as the rounds go on. I settle down a bit better. Don't rush as much in the later rounds than I do in the early rounds.
That's your 3rd comeback win. You look sharp to us. Are you ready for another world title fight?
Definitely am. You know, it's up to my promoter, Frank Warren. He brought my 2nd fight with him to Belfast, and unbelievable. I take my hat off to him, and the fans deserve it. They deserve a big fight days in Belfast.
Okay, well, let's bring your promoter in. Frank, there are quite a few options open for Wayne.
Yeah, I was surprised actually came in well under the featherweight limit, the weigh-in. So we have Joanne Guzman under promotional contract. He's a WBO super bantamweight champion, and obviously Scott Harrison is there as well. So there are 2 opportunities for Wayne. We're going to talk over the next week, and as I say, there'll be a big show in February, and Wayne will be fighting for the world title, 100%.
World title fight in Belfast, what does that mean to you?
That would be a dream, because I had to go to Japan to fight for the championship. But nice to fight in your backyard, that's for sure. We'll go to the Odyssey and fill it out. It'd be unbelievable.
Well done tonight, Wayne.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chill.
How are the mighty fallen? Mark Winters, the former British light welterweight champion about 4 years ago, in here with John Boy Marshall, a novice pro from Glossop near Manchester, who's only in his 7th fight here. Winters back to 6-rounders these days and campaigning at lightweight, 1 weight down from light welter. That's because he works in a leisure centre all the time and apparently is rarely out of John Breen's gym. Quite a strange story this for Winters, who's in the blue trunks, because 3 years ago his trainer was saying he couldn't make 10 stone. Now he does 9-9 okay.
Well, you just wonder how he prepared back then, but obviously getting his diet right and his conditioning right and makes the weight comfortably.
Winters calls himself the natural. Former Commonwealth Games silver medalist, but that was 8 years ago. And the suspicion is his best days are behind him, unless there is to be some kind of resurrection. Marshall here has had a couple of 1st-round wins on his record. He's won 5, lost 1 so far. Likes to call himself John Boy. He's the one in the gold trunks.
Listen, already he looks a bit of a handful in there, pretty strong, taking the fight to Winters. And Winters find it a little bit uncomfortable in this opening round.
It's a little surprising, really, that Winters has carried on with his pro career. He's 30 now, but naturally fit. Had good boxing skills around the time he was beating Carl Wright to become British champion. Defense against Bernard Paul, lost it to Jason Rowland. He held the title for 7 months, and he got in with a sneaky little shot there. And down goes Marshall. Good shot, in close. Mandatory 8 count for him. It was a slow 8 too, wasn't it?
It was a slow 8. Showed a little bit of class there with that right hand. That was good from Winters.
Just a little glimpse of the ability that got him to a British championship in his heyday. Well picked as well, that shot.
Well, he's taken a bit of the fire out of Marshall now.
Lovely little shot in close from Winters, showing he's still got a bit of class about him. He really shouldn't be losing to the likes of John Boy Marshall unless he's gone back a long way. Not much else that was clean from Winters in the round, but he did have Marshall down. There's a full check on his record. He's lost on points to Junior Witter, drew with James Hare, the Commonwealth welterweight champion, and retired after 4 rounds against Ricky Hatton. It's been a kind of win some, lose some operation since his days as British champion.
Well, there it is, a nice timed right hand. Just caught him with a jab, Marshall, and then brought that right hand in nice and straight and right on the chin. And that was good from Winters, just showing a bit of class of old. Looking for the body shot there, and then just finds the gap as the southpaw Marshall comes in, trying to get his right hand working.
Second type, round 2.
Well, John Marshall in the gold trunks came in here with plenty of ambition. He'd won his last 5 on the floor in round 1, though, against Mark Winters from Antrim. Been boxing since he was 11 years old as a member of the amateur boxing club at Antrim. Looks a rough handful, doesn't he, Marshall?
Yes, he looks strong, unorthodox, coming in from the southpaw stance. But shots come from all sorts of angles, and I think that's what's giving Winters a few problems.
Marshall is trained by Joe Gallagher at the Punch Perfect gym in Altrincham, just south of Manchester. Michael Brodie fighting on Sky from that very town next week. Winters just struggling a little to work out the style of Marshall, the swarming southpaw style.
Well, it's the right hand that Winters has had the success with so far. He's just got to keep using that punch nice and straight.
Switch hitting from time to time. Winters just turned it around a little bit to get in a good right hand. Should be the superior technician, Winters. Might be happier with the fight at range. There he is, leading with the right again, quickly back to orthodox.
Score with an uppercut from the left hand of Marshall.
Winters just beginning to impose himself, you feel, in the second round.
Yes, his superior boxing is giving Marshall a few problems. Marshall's still strong and rugged, trying to push Winters back against the ropes.
I think the problem for Mark Winters is that where does he take his career from where he's at the moment?
Yes, it's very difficult for him as he's caught with that left hand from Marshall. That just stung him a bit.
Walked onto that one. Other than that, he's generally been the boss in this round. Body shot was okay from Winters, but he's missing with a fair few. His round, though. Third round of this battle at lightweight. Mark Winters, the former British light welterweight champion, who, by the way, is giving away half a stone here to John Marshall from Glossop. But Marshall on the floor, remember, in round one. Hasn't lost since his debut, Marshall. That was against Dave Stewart in Glasgow. Making Winters work for it all right, though, isn't he?
Well, he's certainly his game. He's strong, and Winters needs to be in good shape and try and keep the centre of the ring and use his jab and right hand well, just to keep Marshall off.
Body shot from Marshall. Winters not entirely successful in keeping the fight at range, which is where I think he'd be most comfortable. He's having trouble really getting his jab into it. I don't know, is that because of the southpaw style he's in with here?
Yes, it's often difficult against the southpaw to get your jab working fluently, and that's happening with Winters, but he needs to use the right hand more.
Looks ring rusty to me as well, Winters. He has been out for 10 months since losing to Graham Earl, one of our rising lightweights, in an eliminator at Wembley. And the left arm from Marshall looks a cracking shot there. Winters took it okay. But he's gone back, hasn't he, from what he was 4 or 5 years back?
Yes, he has gone back. I mean, just to be here in the 6th round level, it's a long way back from where he was.
But I bet you he'd tell you that he boxed for a long time as an amateur. He actually enjoys doing it.
I'm sure he does. He must really to keep it going. Shows good character as he's trying to pick it up in this round from not a good start. But
could you see him forcing his way into the British title picture at lightweight? Not really on this evidence, could you?
No, I couldn't. It's a long way back for him.
Blocked the left hand from Marshall, who throws it with plenty of venom, but is finding it hard to pierce Winters' defence. There's a little cut by the bridge of the nose for Winters.
Well, I think even though he caught it a bit on the gloves, he still felt the weight of that left hook, Winters.
Don't forget this weight differential. He's about 9-12 here, Winters, and Marshall's half a stone heavier. Might that begin to tell a bit as this wears on?
Well, it might, and in this round, he's had a few good spells, Marshall, where the punches that took a little bit out of Winters.
Fourth round of this one. Cuts damage for Winters.
Well, he is starting to get marked up around that right eye. A bit of bruising and a bit of cuts over the bridge of the nose. Not good, really, at this level.
Fourth round. Marshall's really fired up. You'd expect him to be. This would be a notable scalp, a much bigger one than any he's claimed so far.
Yes, and a loss for Winters really would leave him nowhere to go in the game. Can't really afford a loss in a 6-round fight.
Certainly boxing in front of his home fans as well.
Maybe the strength of Marshall just starting to tell a bit. I give him the last round.
Yeah, I thought he nicked it as well. Just looking a little more tired, Winters. The fact that he's just changing to southpaw just here and there, Winters, what does that tell you? That he's having trouble with the style he's facing?
Well, he's having trouble with it, but also he knows that he's having success with the right hand, so he's using, he's switching around and using that as a lead punch.
Cut looks a bit worse. Bridge of the nose, just running into an area just under the right eye for Winters. Funny, isn't it, when you watch a fighter like him as a prospect coming through to win a British Championship, and I suspect we're watching him here towards the tail end of his pro career.
Yes, well, that's what happens, and it's sad, but the fighters come through and then fade away, and it's getting tough for Winters in this contest.
Marshall not accurate enough with his shots, really. Few blocked as well. Right hand, good shot again from Winters there. That was like the punch that had Marshall on the floor in round one. Better accuracy from Winters. Combination was a good one from him too. He's doing the cleaner work.
Yes, he is, keeping his hands up pretty tight. I think Marshall just towering a bit, going on the back foot.
He used to work in the travel agency business. You remember Mark Winters in those early days?
Well, I think he's going to need a holiday after this fight.
He might too.
No emotions, lad.
Fifth round of six, this one. Winters down at lightweight these days, remember, in the black trunks here, against the eager, if not terribly scientific, John Boy Marshall, as he wishes to be known. Little left hand, decent one from Marshall. But he's having trouble finding a way past Winters' defence. Superior skills of the fighter from Antrim, just telling a little.
Yes, Marshall's strong, but hasn't really got the skills to back it up, and that's where Winters is getting ahead.
He's throwing plenty, Marshall, but not landing with very many of them. Winters picking his punches better, beginning maybe to find his rhythm again here. Maybe there was a lot of ring rust in those first three rounds.
Still clubbing punches going in. Looks as if he has a cut.
Yeah, cut eye.
Marshall now.
Right eye, Marshall cut. Looks quite bad too.
Nice left hook there from Winters.
Marshall's defence just beginning to come apart here. Gloves are dropping. He's cut, looks more tired. Winters at last making his extra class tell. Now they're going to take Marshall back to the corner and have a close look at the eye. David Irving, the referee, doesn't look very happy with it. It does look a bad one. Bad gash right across the eyebrow. They might pull him out here. I think he's behind anyway. It's over. Stopped on the cut. Marshall in the fifth round, and Winters had to get a win, and he has got one. It was very hard work for a time, but I would say that in the last 1.5 rounds he did begin to box quite well.
Yes, he seemed to get a rhythm, get his punches off. Still hard finishing with a cut across the bridge of his nose himself, but he gets the win and a very happy crowd.
So he's back after 10 months away with a victory, Mark Winters. But are there any more chapters left to write in his career story? Can he get back to championship level? Frankly, I doubt it. What do you think, Glenn?
Yes, I think it's going to be tough. He made hard work of that, got a win. Maybe that'll push him on a little bit. Needs more fights, but I think it's going to be tough to get back to top level.